All right, so last week we took a description of a business requirement and we transformed that into a use case document, a context DFD or data flow diagram, and a system data flow diagram. This week, what I want to do is increase the complexity of this and add some more requirements to this, and also create a data dictionary. So the first week was what you're seeing up here. And this week, I've increased some complexity. So let's just go through this one real quick. Before I called it the hotel reservation system, now I'm calling it the hotel information system. So maybe consider this like version 2. So the HIS must be web accessible and run on the cloud now. The hotel staff should be able to create a maintenance ticket to the maintenance staff when a room needs maintenance. The ticket should contain the room number and the issue that needs to be resolved. The maintenance staff will receive an email alert on ticket creation. And once the issue has been resolved, the maintenance staff should complete the ticket and state what was resolved. The hotel staff should receive an email alert on ticket closure, and the email alert must go out within 5 minutes of ticket being created or closed. The email must have a reliability of 99.99% that it will be sent out. And finally, the HIS system must support both English and Spanish interfaces. So with these new requirements, what I want to do is I want to do what we just did last week, which is identify the actors and the use cases. And what I want to do this week now is you might have noticed in the statement of requirements, there were some non-functional requirements. That's really important to understand. Those are still requirements. They're just non-functional, which means that we still need to capture them, but they're not going to go in our use case diagram and our DFDs. Now, there's a whole list of non-functional requirements, or what considered non-functional. And something to think about is it's a requirement that just is not going to go in our use case. So if I go back to the statement over here, a key example is the HIS must be web accessible and run on the cloud. Again, that is a requirement, but it's not a functional requirement. There's not going to be a data flow associated with this requirement. So if we color code the red to be the actors, the green to be the use cases, and the purple to be the non-functional requirements. Let's go through this. So web accessible and run in the cloud, that's non-functional. The hotel staff should be able to create a maintenance ticket. So we have it at the actor, same actor as before, to the maintenance staff. So we have a new actor now when a room needs maintenance. The ticket should contain the room number and the issue that needs to be resolved. This is going to be important for our data dictionary, for our database. I'm not going to focus on this just yet. The maintenance staff, the actor, will receive an email alert. So receive is the verb, receive an email alert. Once the issue has been resolved, the maintenance staff, here's the actor again, what will they do? They will complete the ticket and state what was resolved. The hotel staff, again, the actor, will receive an email alert on ticket closure. And then we have a whole bunch of non-functional requirements. The email alert must go out within 5 minutes of the ticket being created or closed. The email must have a reliability of 99.9% and must support English and Spanish. So I've color-coded these purple for non-functional, red for actors, and green for functional requirements. All right, so let's go through this process like we did last week, and let's create some, let's identify the actors and the functional requirements. And let's just list them out like what we did before. So last week we did 1 through 7. And really what we just have this week are create maintenance ticket, which is what the hotel staff will do. The maintenance staff then will receive the ticket via email. The maintenance staff will then complete the ticket. And once the ticket is completed, the hotel staff will receive the ticket closure email. So this whole paragraph here is broken really down into 4 additional functional use cases. So the things in green. So this was 9. This was 8. Requirement 8, functional requirement 8, functional requirement 9, functional requirement 10, and functional requirement 11. All right. And also, what I'd like you to do now is also identify the non-functional statements in the paragraph. So the HIS must be web accessible and run in the cloud. That's a non-functional requirement. In fact, it would go into the deployment category. Potentially, there's other areas that we could consider it.
The email alert must go out within 5 minutes. That's more operability. The email must have a reliability of 99.9%. That's performance. Or it could be reliability. I think reliability is an example one in here, is it? Reliability, yeah. So let me add reliability in here. There's lots of duplicate ways you could look at this, but really the key takeaway is it's not a functional requirement. It's not going to be part of a data flow diagram. And the HIS must support both English and Spanish. That's localization. All right, so let's go on to our use case diagram. We ended up last week with the first 7 here. So now we have 8, 9, 10, 11. And I highly recommend, as I've been numbering them, I've taken the verbiage directly out of the paragraph. I've shortened it sometimes, but create ticket, receive ticket, complete ticket, and receive ticket closure. So if we go over here, 8, create the ticket, that's going to be the hotel staff. Receive the ticket via email, that's going to be the maintenance staff. Complete the ticket, that's going to be the maintenance staff. And receive the ticket closure email, that's going to be the hotel staff. You can see how it just neatly organizes itself. All right, let's skip over that. Let's go look at the context DFD. This was last week, up to number 7. This week, we're going to add the maintenance staff. Let's do that. So the hotel staff creates the ticket, goes from the hotel staff to the HIS system. So create the ticket, copying it verbatim. Receiving the ticket, be the maintenance staff. Complete the ticket, maintenance staff. And then the hotel staff will receive the ticket closure information. All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Just take it one step at a time. So now let's transform that into the system DFD. So we ended up last week with this system DFD. We had the customer and the hotel staff. We had 8 functional requirements: search rooms, view results, book rooms, and so forth. Actually, did we have 8? No, we had 7. I think I added one in here and implied one. I'm just going to trip myself up now. All right, so now if we go into here, we're going to we're going to add block 8, create maintenance ticket. So the hotel staff will create the ticket. The ticket then has to go into a ticketing database, so a ticket file. Once it's in the ticket file, that will trigger an email for the maintenance staff to receive the ticket email. You could actually say receive or generate ticket, but I'm using receive ticket email. The maintenance staff will then perform the work on the issue. Then they will then complete the ticket, number 9. And that will then trigger an email back to the hotel staff to close the ticket. So I think that's hopefully pretty easy to see how we continue to expand upon that.